The Shakespeare pub was originally built in Chester in 1656 and known as the Shambles. After 200 years in the city, it was moved to Manchester city centre in 1928. The bar has a sad tale to tell. It is said that the ghost of a young barmaid haunts it after an incident involving the head chef. Chef Thatch developed an infatuation with Scarlett, the barmaid. One evening after their shift had ended, he saw an opportunity as Scarlett retired to one of the upstairs rooms. Thatch followed her in order to try his luck, and sadly, after his feelings were not reciprocated, he did not take no for an answer. As she cried distraught of the actions of the chef, Scarlett accidentally dropped her candle and set her dress alight. She sadly burnt to death. Witnesses have reported seeing her flaming ghost at the top of the stairs leading to the first floor bar area. Thatch, realising the consequences of his actions, later hung himself in the pub. His spirit is also reported to roam the bar, and the rope marks are supposedly still visible on the beam above. Another common occurrence at the pub is disembodied footsteps and the creaking of chairs as they are moved back into position at the tables. The story goes that this is the spirit of William, a former landlord who died at the age of 87. William's actions just go to show that old habits die hard, even in death. The Northern Frights, intrigued by these accounts, decided to pay the location a visit, to investigate, and as well to look back on 2024 and their favourite locations.
So we're here in central Manchester, the Northern Frights. We are touring some of Manchester's own films. We've started off with the Shakespeare. Maybe next we're going to go to the Peveril and the Peak, and finally the Britain's Protection.
Off camp, like one of my favourite places that we actually went to is the Screaming House.
Me too.
Because it sounds bad, but it was shit at the time.
Or what we caught afterwards.
It was just weird, isn't it?
The Screaming House. That one.
That's that one you took.
As a fancy
you and me went to once. It's good, isn't it?
The Murder House, you mean?
Yeah,
Murder House. I like
yeah.
the Murder House, to be honest.
So we had that one because we took my boys, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Fenced
Oh
it
yeah.
off.
Oh really?
First, and then we went the second time. They fenced it all off, ready to demolish it.
Oh really? So it's probably gone by now.
Probably. No, I like the Murder House.
Yeah.
I did a couple of episodes there, and it was quite good.
It would have been maybe alright if we'd have gone back, maybe just us three or whatever. I know I couldn't go that second time. But yeah, it would have been good if we'd have gone like during the night.
Yeah.
It was crazy how many EVPs we got in such a short period of time.
It was weird because it was like we got there, the door was open.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sure when you'd been before, the door was kind of still there, wasn't it? How did you get it?
Was it?
Just through the front door.
Through the front door.
Yeah.
We went around the back.
We went around the back.
The back door was just open, so it wasn't even shut. We just walked straight in. And as we walked in, on the camera, you pick up a scuffling noise. So we had that.
Yeah, because we couldn't figure out what that was. I thought that was your box moving, against the door. But then, because me and Chris were both filming going in, I was behind Chris, and I was like, oh, maybe it was your box scraping against the...
Yeah.
But then I think you could see a bit of clearance, can't you?
You can. And then, because we have multiple cameras, and then Tom walks into the bedroom, or walks by one of the bedrooms. We got a voice straight off, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did that say?
I swear it said, like, it's me or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Did one of us say, what was that noise or something? Then
No, I don't think we did. There was writing on the door, and you said, what's this? And then there was the it's me. Yeah.
That was a good one.
I did some good spirits.
Did some good spirits.
Spirit box sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had David come through. So he was one of the suspects
Right.
with the murder of the the lady,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just really odd. We had a Estes session as well,
Yeah.
so that was quite weird. Yeah, very odd place that one, the murder house.
But yeah, just in terms of like expectations and stuff, like when you're there, you're like, you take for granted, don't you, sometimes when you've been to more active places, and then you're like, oh, this is a bit boring, but then like you review the footage.
Then with that one as well, we heard so much about poltergeist activity. There was a whole story behind it as well, so we expected more.
Yeah.
And then on the night, it was pretty quiet-ish. But then when we reviewed it back,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go and have a look at that. See the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I done that as well.
A lot of other teams have had lots of good stuff there, haven't they?
Yeah.
So lots of voices and knockings and things like that. So Davey felt a bit uneasy in one of the bedrooms.
Really?
Yeah. And when he felt uneasy,
Yeah.
I did have an EVP, but it was very muffly, so I couldn't
Really?
hear what. It was like a woman talking,
Yeah.
and that was like after he felt sick in that particular room. Yeah. Very strange place, definitely. I think there's multiple spirits there. I don't think it's just the family that lived there or the victim. I think there's multiple.
Potentially, yeah, because there was definitely that woman's voice that we heard on, like, but then on the Zoom, like, I heard that man's voice saying Birmingham. But it almost sounded American. It was weird. It was like how you'd imagine an American person to say Birmingham. Birmingham.
To me, it sounded like you said, "I am here."
Really?
Yeah, but then when you said Birmingham, I was like, "Yeah, it does sound."
It was
very
so
American
clear
as well.
when I was listening to it there and then.
But to me, it sounds like I am here, but I am here. But
sometimes you can overanalyze it. So whatever you heard first is sometimes the best way to.
Sounds different.
Yeah, it was so clear, and I don't know where that had come from. Like it was pretty quiet apart from maybe like the wind outside. You couldn't hear anyone's TVs sort of left or right of the house. So weird. And there wasn't anyone walking past, so it couldn't have been that.
There was no one around. We had forest to the back. We had a big glass window, so we would have seen if there was anyone there.
Yeah.
We had the place ourselves. So.
I am dying to go out on another though. I drove past, I'm where I live now, obviously I've just moved house. So I'm there like looking at every abandoned building that I go past. There's a cemetery that's got a fenced off church in the middle of it and it looks dead spooky. I'd say though on the top of my list there's a bothy in Scotland and I don't know whereabouts it is.
It's not the one that's been on Uncanny, is it?
It might be, but I think I saw it before. I seen it on Uncanny, just on a Nuke's Top 5 video or something, where
it's fallen apart now, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but it's still there.
Still there, but it's got like a couple of rooms and stuff, and channels that don't even feature like any paranormal investigation stuff. They go in and like doors are opening, and they're hearing noises in the other room, thinking, "Oh yeah, it's just someone that needs to use the bothy," but then they're not hearing anything. And
to give you some background, a bothy in Scotland, it's like can be a house on top of the hill. It's just not used, not lived in, but people can just go in. Like if they're hiking or something's bad weather, they can go and stay there. The story is two hikers, or the story I heard is two hikers went in there to stay the night. They literally had objects floating above them. They had things thrown at them. They heard footsteps coming down the stairs. They picked up a fork from the fire, ready to hit whoever was coming down the stairs. Opened the door, they'd be there.
Oh, horrible.
So they fled. They fled because of what happened to them that night. They really were terrified of the place.
Trying to find
stories.
Because there was one I saw where they're looking at a chair and it goes, drags a little bit closer, and then there was like, there's no way that chair just moved. Maybe it was the wind. It moved a tiny bit, but then like it moves about 20 centimeters. Like the wind ain't blowing a wooden chair 20 centimeters. Is it? I think I sent a link to it. I can't find like any pictures or anything of. I must have sent it as a link to like these YouTube videos that We've not really spoke much
There's another
recently.
story. There's another story of the area that's quite famous.
Yeah.
There's like mountain rescue guys that just volunteer, hikers who just love walking around, and they help people who are in trouble. And these two mountain rescue people were walking over the hills, and they spotted down by the lake a cottage that they'd never seen before. And they had it in their eye line for a good 20 minutes. So they headed down to the lake to find it. It was not there. There was no cottage there. There never has been a cottage there.
Oh, right, okay.
So in his opinion, it's like a time
Time
slip.
slip.
Yeah,
Big fascinating.
time
Cottage
slip.
has not yet been
Yeah.
built and will be built there one day.
Really?
Yeah.
Or it could have been one that was already there and then it's gone. Or
Well, he's looked in the past. There's
Nothing.
nothing been built there.
weird.
This is a guy who walks that area regularly, knows it like the back of his hand because he rescues
Yeah.
people. The two of them saw a cottage there. There was a cottage there,
Mm.
and there's nothing been built. So
Yeah.
I like that.
That's it, the White Lagoon Bothy.
What's it
The
called?
White Lagoon.
White Wagon, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same
What's
one that
the
Danny
area
Robbins
called?
went to. I'm not too sure. But it's funny, right? So Christmas just gone. My mother-in-law, she was over at her dad's and her mum's for Christmas, and they were both adamant that there was a chocolate cake in the kitchen. And then the rest of the family were saying, there isn't a chocolate cake. What are you on about? My mum-in-law and her dad were both adamant. They'd been in the kitchen. There was a big chocolate cake in there. I was like, maybe there was a time slip to another time that you'd had maybe a chocolate cake, but